The barrier breaker and record shatterer. Do you still remember? The last time you truly trembled with excitement? Listening to a baseball game through that old radio in the living room? Perhaps it was decades ago. And yet, that feeling still lingers, alive as ever. Back then, baseball was more than just a game. It was the soul of America. The stadium roared with cheers. And every swing of the bat had the power to change history. And in a time when the nation was still divided by the color of one's skin, there was one man who stepped onto the field, quiet, yet unyielding. That man was Hank Aaron. The one who didn't just break records, but shattered barriers. Today, let us journey back in time to relive the extraordinary story of a legend. On February 5, 1934, in the city of Mobile, Alabama, amidst red-dusted roads and the steady hum of cicadas, a black child was born. He was given the name Henry Louis Aaron, a name the whole world would one day know as Hank Aaron. Hank's childhood unfolded in hardship. In the sweltering heat of the American South, a thin black boy often stood quietly outside a fence, his eyes fixed on other children playing baseball. His family was too poor to afford a bat, or even a ball. Yet in those eyes burned a strange light, a fierce dream that no adversity could extinguish. When he had no bat, he picked up a worn broomstick. When there was no ball, he rolled up bottle caps, or whatever scraps he could find. Out of scarcity, Aaron forged qualities that would define his life: persistence, creativity, and an unwavering refusal to abandon his dream. The 1940s and 50s in America were steeped in racial division. For a black boy, the road into professional baseball was nearly impossible. But Aaron refused to let prejudice bury his hopes. Patiently, step by step, he began in semi-pro leagues and then joined the Negro Leagues, where black athletes kept their dreams alive, waiting for a chance to break through. Every swing on those dusty fields was more than a game. It was a declaration: I belong here. And soon, the eyes of Major League scouts began to notice the wiry but relentless young man, who carried a dream as vast as the sky itself. That was the beginning of the journey that would make Hank Aaron one of the greatest icons in American sports. In 1952, at just 18, Hank Aaron signed his first contract with the Indianapolis Clowns, a small club in the Negro Leagues. The name might have sounded amusing, but in truth, it was where black players fought to prove themselves. Overlooked by the press and scorned by many white spectators. Yet it was on this humble stage that Aaron's talent was discovered. That very same year, the Milwaukee Braves signed him, opening the door to Major League Baseball, a dream countless young black men of that era never dared to imagine. In 1954, Hank Aaron made his MLB debut, carrying not only his own dream, but the hopes of so many who shared his skin color. But the big leagues were not all glory. He faced hostile stares, venomous words from the stands. Sometimes, as he stepped onto the field, Aaron heard jeers, mocking whistles, or hateful shouts, uttered for no reason other than the color of his skin. At times, he even received anonymous letters, warning that his very presence was unwelcome. And yet, game after game, Hank Aaron let his bat do the talking. He wasn't loud, nor boastful. He simply swung and sent the ball soaring far beyond the reach of doubters. Each home run was more than just a point on the scoreboard. It was a statement that talent and determination could rise above every boundary. Slowly, his home run tally climbed higher and higher. Each swing was another brick laid on the path to greatness. But more than the numbers, what people would remember most about Hank Aaron was his calm strength and quiet courage. He refused to be consumed by hatred. Instead, he turned it into fuel to keep moving forward. By the 1960s, as America wrestled with the storm of racial conflict, Hank Aaron's presence on the baseball field stood as living proof of a truth worth believing in: that the American dream did not belong to just a few, but to anyone brave enough to rise and pursue it. By the early 1970s, Hank Aaron had already become a household name in the hearts of baseball fans. But before him still loomed a towering mountain: Babe Ruth's record of 714 home runs, a number Americans regarded as almost untouchable, belonging to the immortal legend of the game. With every swing that brought Aaron closer to that mark, the pressure grew heavier. Fans followed his every game, every at-bat. But alongside the anticipation came a frightening darkness. Each week, he received hundreds, sometimes even thousands, of letters, many filled with hatred, some even with death threats. One message warned: if you dare to break Babe Ruth's record, you won't live to leave the ballpark. Amidst the storm, Hank Aaron remained as calm as ever. He did not argue. He did not lash back. He simply kept swinging, letting his bat speak louder than any word. And then, at last, the historic day arrived. On April 8, 1974, Atlanta Fulton County Stadium was packed with more than 53,000 fans, all waiting to see if Hank Aaron would achieve the impossible. In the fourth inning, as the pitch from Al Downing of the Los Angeles Dodgers sped toward him, Aaron summoned all his strength, all his belief, into a single swing. Crack! The familiar sound echoed, and the ball soared high, deep beyond the left field fence. For a moment, time stood still. Then the stadium erupted. Hank Aaron had just hit home run number 715, surpassing Babe Ruth and becoming America's new home run king. Fans stormed the field, embracing him in jubilation. Yet behind Aaron's proud smile, there was also a sense of relief. For he knew this was not merely a personal triumph. It was a victory of perseverance over hatred, of hope over prejudice. That moment entered history, not only because a record had fallen, but because it symbolized change across America. Hank Aaron, the boy who once practiced with a broomstick, had risen to a height few dared even dream of. From that day forward, he was no longer just a ballplayer. He was a symbol, a living testament that no matter how treacherous the road, dreams could indeed come true. After April 8, 1974, Hank Aaron's name was forever etched alongside the word legend. Yet what earned him the deepest respect of America went beyond the 755 home runs, a record that would stand for more than 3 decades. What people cherished most was the way he lived, how he endured hardship, how he carried himself with grace, leaving behind values that transcended sports. Hank Aaron was never loud. Even when the spotlight blazed on him, his voice remained warm, steady, humble. He never saw himself as a hero, only as a ballplayer who loved the game and gave it his all. And it was precisely that quiet dignity that drew millions of Americans to admire him even more. Toward the end of his career, Aaron played for the Milwaukee Brewers, before moving into front office roles, helping open doors for countless young black players to enter Major League Baseball. To him, baseball was more than a game. It was a way to change society, one swing at a time, proving equality and the right to dream. When Hank Aaron passed away on January 22, 2021, America fell silent. From the largest ballparks to the morning news, people remembered not only the statistics, but the story of a poor boy from Alabama who once trained with a broomstick and became the home run king. Today, when fans recall Hank Aaron, they don't just think of balls sailing over fences. They remember a symbol of determination, of courage that rose above hatred and prejudice. His legacy does not rest in numbers, but in the hearts of those who believe that even the smallest dream can soar. Sometimes we ask ourselves, what makes a person a legend? Is it the records, the numbers, or the way they lived? The way they faced the trials of their time? Hank Aaron gave us the answer. He didn't just hit baseballs over fences. He broke through the invisible barriers of society. He left behind an eternal message. That resilience, patience, and faith can carry even the poorest child to the greatest dream. And perhaps each of us, at some moment in our lives, needs to remember that image. The image of a quiet, steady man, strong enough to change history. Because in the end, the home runs may fade into memory, but the spirit Hank Aaron left behind will echo forever. And what about you? Do you remember the first time you heard the name Hank Aaron? Or that historic night in 1974, when he broke the record? Share your memories, your thoughts, in the comments below. Because sometimes, your story may awaken something beautiful in someone else's heart. This story is just one piece of America's flowing memory. And there are countless more pieces, countless more journeys waiting to be rediscovered. So hit that subscribe button so we never miss a chance to travel back together.